Hello, my dear class 8 students. Once again, you are welcome in this online class. As in the previous classes, we have discussed about modes of reproduction in the case of plants. Today, as we have studied about the sexual reproduction, about the process of pollination and the vectors which are required for this sexual reproduction in the previous session. Today I am going to discuss about the actual process of sexual reproduction, how it is taking place in the plants. I think you are sincerely working at your home by keeping things in mind that you are going to give your quarterly examinations in second week of August. So please do your work honestly. Okay, so let us start. Process of sexual reproduction in plants. As you know, the first process of sexual reproduction is pollination. It means transfer of pollen grains from the anther to sting. This is the first process that is taking place, and after this, sexual reproduction starts. With the help of this diagram, I am going to discuss the process of sexual reproduction together with you. You can see the female part in which this is going to be the embryo sac. This is going to be the embryo sac in which three cells will be there. Three cells will be there and two cells. I made things by color chart so that you may be able to distinguish all these things what we are going to discuss. Now, this is the pollen grain. This is the pollen grain. Its upper layer is called exine. Inner layer is known as intine. And there are two nucleus. One that is known as male gamete, and one that is known as vegetative nucleus. This is the structure of pollen grain. The upper enzyme that you can see is made up of a special type of chemical. That chemical is known as sporopollenin. That chemical is known as sporopollenin. This is a very resistant material so that it protects the pollen grain from degeneration. Later, there will be a small pore on the enzyme. Now, by the process of pollination, this pollen grain will reach to the stigma. As you have seen in pollination, this pollen grain will come to stigma. And when this pollen grain will come to stigma, when this pollen grain will come to stigma, this male gamete, you can see this vegetative nucleus, you can see. See, when this pollen grain is coming to the stigma, there are certain chemoreceptors present on the surface of stigma. Once the pollen grain came on the stigma starts secreting mucilage. A viscous, sticky material. This is being absorbed by the enzyme of the pollen grain and is getting swelled and then burst. When the enzyme bursts, in time comes out in the form of tube, and you can see this tube is not coming from the upper portion of the embryo cell. It is going to the lower portion of the embryo cell. Okay? Just now I am going to discuss about this. In time comes in form of tube. This is called as pollen tube. One more characteristic development can be seen here. This male gamete was single here. Before going to the stigma, this pollen grain was having two nucleus. Okay? Now, this male gamete will divide to form two male gametes and a vegetative nucleus. Vegetative nucleus. So, what are the two characteristic changes came in pollen grain? First of all, when it came on the stigma, it absorbed the mucilage being burst in time comes out in the form of pollen tube. Second, the male gamete divides itself, forming two male gametes and one vegetative nucleus. So it became three-shaped. It became three-shaped. I have discussed that this pollen tube can enter in this embryo sac from the upper portion also, but no, it is not. Why? Because there is a pore. There is a pore. This pore is known as micropyle. This pore is known as micropyle, and because of the presence of this pore, this end is known as micropylar end. Micropylar end. So the pollen tube enters into the embryo sac through micropyle. Let us have a discussion about the embryo sac that is made here. You see, upper three cells are known as antipodals. They are known as antipodals. They too are called central nuclei. They too are called central nuclei. Here, these two are known as synergate. They too are known as synergate. And this bigger one is known as egg. Bigger one is known as egg. So this diagram represents how the pollen tube enters and from where it is going to fuse with this egg. Secondly, the internal atmosphere of an embryo sac. So this only diagram is able to represent the process of sexual reproduction in the plants. Okay? After all what we have discussed, better see the same what you are learning here in this sexual reproduction is a complete chapter in class 9. So once if you are clearly known about the things what we are going to discuss here, the same will be applicable in class 9 also. Okay, so that much important topic it is. Okay, so give your full attention during studying these topics. Now, because these two male gametes are there, these two male gametes will come inside this embryo sac. What is the use of this vegetative nucleus? Vegetative nucleus facilitate these two male gametes to find out the micropylar end and to help in the fusion of this egg and male gamete. So, one male gamete fuse with egg. They have to know. So one is fusing with egg and forming gamete. While second male gamete is fusing with central nuclei fusing with central nuclei. Because you can see fertilization is taking place two times. Fertilization is taking place two times. One male gamete is fusing with this egg and another male gamete is fusing with the central nuclei. So two fertilizations are there. No? Therefore, this particular process is known as double fertilization. Beta, this is a characteristic process of sexual reproduction in the case of angiosperms. What are the angiosperms? Where seeds are covered, those plants which are flowering, they are kept in the angiosperms, and this double fertilization process is the characteristic of sexual reproduction in angiosperms. That is clear? That is clear? Okay. So in this session we have discussed how fertilization is taking place in the plants and how sexual reproduction process is taking place. Now, what happens after fertilization? Or you can say post fertilization change. Post fertilization change. I want to say all the procedures happening just after the process of fertilization is known as post-fertilational change. Post-fertilational changes. Now, this ovary is getting fertilized, so it became fruit. Ovary change into fruit. Ovary change into fruit. If someone is asking you what is a fruit, a ripened ovary. A ripened ovary. After this ovary one is making fruit one. They are the two post-fertilization changes after the process of fertilization. In this chapter, we have discussed about the asexual mode of reproduction in the plants, vegetative modes of reproduction in plants, in which we came to know about the micropropagation process also, and finally today we have finished this chapter 2. So get prepared with questions and answers of this particular chapter. In the next meeting we will discuss sexual reproduction in animals. Till then, thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you.